We got our new Class C, and I just wanted to show you really quickly what we found in the back of our wall in the master room when we were making the bed. So you can see we're going to do quite an extensive renovation here. Here's the back master, and back here it's very squishy. And you may not be able to see that very well, but the wall's soft, so we realized it's dry rotted, and we're going to be replacing this panel. If you feel the side, it's very hard, but back here it's very soft, so pretty disappointing. We're going to work to remove these upper cabinets. I don't think we're going to have to remove this side because that wall is hard, but this wall is definitely soft and just needs to be replaced. It does have a little bit of odor, which we didn't notice when we were looking at it to buy it, but definitely some water damage has happened here. So Mark started digging into this camper, and that was the first spot. That's actually the area right behind the nightstand on that side. And this other view is inside the upper cabinet because we did need to remove that. There's lights connecting, so you disconnect the lights. There's a false floor in the cabinet, so that piece of wood just needs to be lifted up, and then that's where the wiring and everything for the light is at. This is the view of the back wall with the cabinet removed, and what Mark really did was he just took a putty knife and he pried away any of the wall and tried to figure out where the mold would stop. It's been a really long day. Mark's been working on the camper, and I'll show you where we're at end of day one. The person who we bought the camper from, he had told us that this is the driver's side, that the outside fiberglass had separated from the wall, and that he repaired it. But we're of course kicking ourselves because we didn't check the back wall, but this wall is totally firm. Doesn't seem like there's any water damage. When Mark took the corner piece off where it joins the back wall with the side wall, he did notice that that driver's side wall is damaged. The wood was thicker, but because the inside wall was so firm and solid, we opted to not go ahead and mess with it. Felt like it was just too much structurally and too many ways we could mess that up. It really seems like that would be a job for a professional body repair shop. So it was more damaged, but we're gonna keep an eye on it and roll with the punches. If something happens or we realize we do need to actually get that repaired, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We've had other campers that leaked water, and if you go to thenewlighterlife.com and search for how we fixed our leaky camper, we dealt with this with our travel trailer that we sold just before having this one. We took off the outside metal strip, we put in seam tape on the inside. This is called butyl C tape. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but basically it's got a gummy inside on the tape. We put that inside the metal strip, and then we screwed it in and caulked it on the outside. So that's the proper way to fix outside or corner pieces on the outside of a camper. But I just wanted to make you guys aware there was extra damage. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get back to me showing you the damage. Seemed like that back upper corner is where all the water was potentially leaking in. This is like a support board right here. So if this was acting like a shelf, we're thinking the water just kind of drifted over this way and over the window. We're gonna take the window out and reseal it, put the new wood up. But you can see it's just kind of gone down. Oh, and here it looks terrible. And then this of course is a support board as well, but I mean it's just completely just rotted. So we're gonna put a piece of wood, I don't know, 1x4 along here for support, and here is a hole where there's a brake light, and it's off right now. Mark's taping it up for the night because we've been getting a lot of rain, and so water's clearly been coming in this way through the brake light that doesn't work. Here's the drill hole, and here's another drill hole. So we're going to seal those up, but We sprayed it with bleach water, and we're gonna try to fix this. And we knew it was really squishy, so we figured it was probably not a good situation, but it is what it is. And if you're wondering what is underneath the bed of a 2002 Winnebago Mini, I think it's a 31R, it's a 32-foot Mini Winnie. This is what's under the bed. This is a water tank, there's a pump. This is how you winterize it with this mechanism, but we sprayed it with bleach water. We're gonna put a fan on it overnight, and hopefully tomorrow it's dry and we'll be able to kilt it and then put up the new board. All right, so here we are, day 2. So he sprayed it down again and wiped off some of the mold. It was just so much mold, and hoping that tomorrow we can put up the boards, kilt it before we put up the new boards, and he got some insulation to put in some of those areas so it's not so heavy. And we'll take the window out, seal the outside, and hopefully we'll be up and running and camping really soon. At this point of the project, I was very busy and I could not take any video, so I just have some pictures for you. What Mark did next was he removed the window, and thankfully we had some friends that came over and helped him out because I was not available to help him. But once he removed the window, he made sure everything was cleaned off with bleach water. It was left to dry as well. And he applied primer to all of the existing wood that was left over, that remained. Once Mark removed the window, everything dried out in there, and the frame, the width of the wall actually widened. While our friend was putting in those new 1x4 support pieces, Mark applied a lot of liquid nail between the wood, the old wood, and the fiberglass, and he started clamping that to tighten up the depth of that window frame wall. This is the view of the new shaped cutout plywood. You can see it's now dark wood, but underneath the plywood, Mark also put in 2-inch insulation. This was done since some of the styrofoam insulation was taken out since it was damaged. This is a top right view of that window frame where the bottom color wood is replaced plywood. That light wood is the original wood, support wood, that was sprayed with bleach water and then kills, and then the top is our 1x4 support beam. Since I couldn't screw directly into the wood because it would poke through the back wall of the camper through the fiberglass, they closed the seams between all the wood with a pneumatic stapler. And this is the lower right portion where you can just see the wood is far more damaged. Again, it's a view from going from top to bottom is the plywood, the original support wood that was damaged and then treated, and then the 1x4 support. And then actually below that is another piece of plywood that was placed in there for support. And this is the outside view of the camper where the clamping is done. There's a lot of that black caulking that was inside of the window frame. And then there's the new brake light. It was just an add-on brake light, so it's not actually stock. This is what the back wall now is. And to date, we still have not painted it, but we are getting ready to do a big renovation on the camper. So this will no longer be brown, but this is the final fix on the wall. And then of course, we put in the uppers, the bed, the nightstand. One more thing I want to tell you about is Eternabond. If you are doing any kind of repair to camper walls or waterproofing the outside seams of your camper, Eternabond is the way to go. It is so easy to work with, and I just can't say enough, rave enough about this product. Mark went ahead and he applied Eternabond to the outside of the camper on all the seams just to make sure no more leaks. Thank you for watching. I wish I had video of the entire process, but it is what it is. And if you have a leaking camper or need to replace a wall, hopefully we've got you covered. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them as best I can. But our camper, we used it all the rest of last summer and had no issues. We are renovating that coming up really soon. And so if you want to see some of that renovation, subscribe, like, and go to the New Lighter Life. That's where I'll put a lot of the details of all these renovations up on there. So thank you.